Brazil showdown against Italy. Phil Shane, Ray Hudson with you. Glad you could join us today. This match being played in Geneva, Switzerland, just across the border. No neutrals here, though. Plenty of fans for football, plenty of fans for both sides. And Boateng with many new fans of his own. And Ray, taking a look at these two storied sides, 4 titles for Italy, 5 for Brazil, but they have not won since 2002. And as host in 2014, Ray, this part of the presentation.
Well, it's a wonderful event here tonight that we're going to enjoy, and a very, very meaningful friendly, as you can see. Almost a packed house. This is what Brazil come gunning for against the Azzurri.
There's going to be Julio Cesar in net, Alves, Luiz, Dante, and Felipe Luis in the back line. The young Fernando, who has been making fans sing this season in Rio Grande do Sul. Ranes and Oscar joining Hulk, Fred, and Neymar. For Luis Felipe Scolari, Ray, only his second game in charge. The first, a bit of a stumble at Wembley. Meanwhile, Cesare Prandelli, he's been in charge since 2010. And right now, trying to get their 5th World Cup. Going with the veteran Buffon between the pipes. It's 4 in the back. Maggio and the debutant De Silio. Barzagli and Bonucci in the middle. The Juventus tandem, De Rossi, Pirlo, Montolivo, and Giaccarini. Bit of a surprise, but no Marchisio. He's out with a fever. Pablo Osvaldo and Mario Balotelli up front. And right now, both of these sides loaded with talent. But Ray, Italy coming, it seems like, with the big guns.
Well, the one surprise in there for Italy, I'm sure the fans will be raising their eyebrows, is Emmanuel Giaccarini, the Juve man. And he is beloved by Prandelli and is getting a big nod of confidence against a tough opponent. We'll see how he will handle these wonderful yellow shirts. So many great memories when these two teams come up against each other throughout history. And at the start of this, we'll have some moments of respect for a dear friend and wonderful hero in Italy that just passed away.
The world-class sprinter Pietro Manea passing away at the age of 60, politician in the European Parliament, former world record holder in the 200 meters.
Merci beaucoup et bon match.
Gigi Buffon is ready. Well, is he? 124 caps, but he knows anytime you take on Brazil, not much can get you prepared. Dante, a late-in-life defender, just his 2nd cap. And on his flank, just his 3rd cap for the flamboyant Felipe Luis. Giaccarini, meanwhile, 6 caps for a 27-year-old who, you said, Ray, many surprises even on the roster, let alone the starting lineup.
Well, he's getting a great opportunity to shine here against some of the world's best. We will be vastly entertained by these yellow shirts, of course, but the Azzurri, as you say, Phil's synonymous with World Cup majesty as well, as you beautifully framed at the start of this. 4 World Cups, 4 big stars on the chest of the blue shirts, and 2 times runners-up against the perennial powerhouse no matter what. And Brazil come to any town around the world, they pack the stadiums to the rafters with this wonderful silky football, but can they break through the Italian defence? It will be wonderfully led at the back with this type of football, beautifully springboarding this attack.
Chance up front for Osvaldo. David Luiz steps in front. Now almost dispossessed before it's cleared away. A lot of pressure on Fernando.
Beautiful ball over the top from Daniel De Rossi to release Osvaldo, and David Luiz, the Chelsea man, reading him like a nursery rhyme book. Lovely start.
Pirlo playing a bit of defense. Brazil holds on. It's Hulk.
Wow.
And an easy stop for Buffon, but a sign of things to come.
Take a look at this. Hull takes a look at the whites of the goalpost and cannot resist, but he had a wide open Neymar to the left-hand side of him.
Launched long, good sprint
Another beautiful
forward.
pass.
It's Giaccherini to the inside, denied. A stellar stop by the QPR keeper, Julio
Fabulous by
Cesar.
Giaccherini taking on David Luiz and making him his little lollipop here. Beautiful drive into the box here. He leaves the Chelsea man for dead and then hammer blows this one. It's a beautiful save by Cesar. Reads it beautifully. That one's going to paint the inside of the post. Wonderful from Giaccherini, and he is absolutely heavenly found with that pass.
Deflected away off the corner kick, settling it outside Montolivo. Back for Pirlo. Ray, almost as though Giaccherini realized he had something to prove. Montolivo flipping it in. Another loose ball outside
Well, he was
Bonucci.
that last night when he was told he was going to start, but bringing it to the field against Brazil, that's a wholly different thing. What a seesaw game this is.
Gets through, but he can't get around. Bonucci back in time.
Well, this crowd could go home now. They've already had the money's worth. Wonderful play, both by Brazil. Italy finding themselves in beautiful position with fabulous searching ball. The one from Daniel De Rossi. Out of this world.
Give credit to Barzagli. He was the one that was covering that stopped the counterattack. The newly bleached blonde Dani Alves. Find out if he has a bit more fun here. The through ball almost hitting Neymar in stride. There's a good look at Fred.
Yeah, he's a little bit too heavy with his pass in the end. But again, surgical, precise movement from the yellow shirts. Cutting through, it's tit for tat. Devil take the highmost for both these teams in the first 3 minutes.
De Rossi.
This is Hearns Hagler.
For Osvaldo, tripped up, foul against Brazil. Hernandez being forced to play some defense. De Rossi and Osvaldo quite familiar, although both of them were on the outs at Roma at the start. Pirlo, 33 years of age, approaching his 100th cap. Put him in the right system, looks like he could play forever. Poor back pass with the run going down the line. Again, Maggio, more of a wing back in a 3-back set for Napoli, but playing a regular right back here.
Ball.
Trying to take advantage is Felipe Luis. In for Neymar.
Magic.
Has hope, but it's Neymar denied by Buffon.
Superlative run by the young Santos. Wonderful hit as well. Running at speed and then lifting off. The technique was fantastic, and he had options to the left, to the right, and ahead of him. And Buffon has a bird's eye view. Easy pickings for a man of Buffon's stature. Gigi reading it beautifully. But look at this wonderful run, and the balance, the lift off, like with that technique, is very special.
Down long the other way, an easy grab for Julio Cesar. Big money signing for QPR, but actually started the season on the bench.
Been over 30 years since Italy's taken the number of Brazil, going back a long, long time. This is a great opportunity to catch the yellow shirts in a cold position. The way they have been playing has not been at Brazil's operatic high note, whereas Italy's been playing superlatively well.
Alves to the inside, left foot denied by Pirlo. Here's Montolivo, who's had a resurgence of his own at Milan. Very interesting.
Pass. Well
Ball
played,
out for
Balotelli.
Dowell Hoke.
It's Hernandez that's holding him off initially. Hull coming back to the rescue. It was a beautiful turn by Super Mario.
Very interesting. You listen to Luis Felipe Scolari talking about that 1982 defeat by Brazil at the hands of Paulo Rossi.
Another great ball.
Balotelli. Kick save by Cesar.
Daniel De Rossi once again pinpoint perfect with his magisterial pass over the top for Balotelli. Take a look at this. It drops into a thimble from that pint glass pass over huge distance. It's perfection. He doesn't need to control it, Balotelli, but he needed to do better with his finish.
So close. Another corner kick spun in, headed away by Alves. Ray Scolari said
passes, those sorts of chances like that, It cannot be let off the hook if Balotelli is going to live up to his potential and promise. There's a fabulous ball and a bouncing pass for him to strike with more venom and height, and Mario will be upset. And so will Daniel De Rossi. What service!
Pirlo's second effort sails a bit long. Scolari talking about that Rossi hat trick that sent Brazil out and sent Italy on to its third of 4 World Cup finals. It was one of the best things that happened to Brazil, saying it forced a rethink and a renovation, new blood coming in, and something in many ways that they carry through to this day.
Magnificent start from Italy. This, you could say the same for Brazil. Both teams, this should be 2-2 on the scoreline. The chances have been missed and options that weren't taken with open players ahead for both teams. It's a great ball.
Ball slips through and almost finds Osvaldo, but Alves caressing it back to his keeper. I talked about the moment of silence before the match for the sprinter Manea. Well, he was a world record holder for 17 years. He might have a hard time keeping up with the way these two teams are running.
Greyhounds would have a hard time keeping up with them the way they've gone on. This is being played like it's a World Cup final.
Another chance for Hernanes.
Both teams thoroughly enjoying themselves here, reveling in this occasion. Powerhouse against powerhouse. And damning the torpedoes. That's a lovely ball again, just a little bit overhit towards Fred. And Neymar on the other side. Oscar goes for the searching ball. It's beautifully directed, but just a little bit too much pop on it from the youngster. From Chelsea, ex-Sao Paulo man.
Played back into the corner for the debutant Ducilio. Many starting to compare him to another left back in Italy's past, Maldini. Prandelli says that's just a bit too early. Hernanes over to Felipe Luis.
Good ball. There's a lovely look away past that by Neymar, nearly finding the Italians out.
Fred trying to lay it off. Again, wide for Kazmierski. Inside, that carries past Fred. Oh, tries to sweep it around, but the youngster does well.
Doing extremely well there, young Mattia. Not diving in there with Hulk coming onto the ball, holding his ground very maturely.
9th minute, and Ray, it seems like it's just been a fraction of a second. Far side, it's Maggio. 23rd cap for the 31-year-old. Balotelli.
Good ball.
Sneaks it for Pirlo.
Magic.
Caressing it, but just too far.
Again, lovely, inventive play. First from Balotelli, and then, of course, wouldn't be a show without punch. Pirlo will out-trump any full house. Wonderful pass. And again, Italians just not quite connected. And that's what these games are for, Phil. And Prandelli and Scolari would be delighted with a lot of the midfield approach to this game. Very, very sharp, and the inventive players right on top of our game. 10 minutes in, this will be a smorgasbord of classy football that we'll be watching for the next 80.
Trying to finagle his way through was Neymar. Poke free from Giaccherini. Here is Montolivo. Always nice to have a release valve in Pirlo.
There's Montolivo, Pirlo, and of course Daniel De Rossi just sharpening their knives with their penetrative passes. Wonderful selection from the Azzurri to find out the man up front. You didn't get any better than these three.
Montolivo with De Rossi in support, covered by Oscar. Young Chelsea lad looking on to Pirlo. Kicks by Balotelli.
Nicely.
Giaccherini to the inside.
Well covered by Dani Alves. Beautiful spacing, and locking down on little Giaccherini was the new peroxide blonde. That's off.
Good look at Oscar dos Santos, Chelsea youngster.
Big Phil on his 23rd coaching job, replacing Manu Menezes, of course. His second game lost at Wembley against England in what was considered a shock result. Certainly was.
Center, Balotelli disguises it, finding Giaccherini, elects to try and save the goal kick.
Balotelli showing his confidence, if not his awareness of shooting on sight. Giaccherini just fading away. Mario tries an impossible pass, but good on him. It's not a bad effort, was it? He just got a little quarter of a pound over the top, and that looks as if it stayed in, but he couldn't control it. But good invention by Mario Balotelli.
Off to the near side, Hulk. Started as more of a center forward, now a flank player at Zenit. Here's Alves. Back for Givanildo Vieira.
Good ball.
Sneaks it inside, Hernanes, but the shot just screwed wide.
Beautiful ball, recognized by Hernanes from Hulk. The one thing about these Brazilians, Phil, the old textbook line is Brazilians will shoot on sight as soon as they see the whites of the goalposts, but not these lads. They're picking out the considerate pass. The Italians just doing enough to cover the Lazio man, Hernanes. Wonderful player in his own right, 27-year-old, just coming to the boil ahead of the next World Cup in Rio.
Chance for Balotelli again. Giaccherini in support, cuts inside. Alves stays with him. Picks his pocket. Hulk dropping it back. Revitalized since leaving Man City. Balotelli sneaks it around and just skims wide of Julio Cesar's net.
Gets a corner kick. It takes a touch off the defender, who does well to close Balotelli down. Just here, he's got his angle right. Luis standing way off of him. Julio Cesar probably would have had it covered, but that deflection would have taken it past the keeper into the back of the net.
Pirlo from the other flank. David Luiz will clear. Out to Oscar, his Chelsea teammate. Hooked down by Montolivo as he makes the move. See the Swiss ref, Stefan Studer, says no yellow on that one, but it probably should have been.
No, I'm not sure, Phil. I would not have given a yellow card for that. This referee's called the right one. Committed, didn't follow through with it. It's just a pure accident for sure. Nothing intentional whatsoever. A referee reading that it wasn't anywhere near an intended foul on the player, but he certainly caught him.
Brazil, one of only 2 nations on earth that Italy actually has a losing record against. The other, the old Soviet Union. 5 wins, 7 defeats, 2 draws. But Ray, since that 1982 triumph, which helped them to the title, they have been winless. 2 draws and 3 defeats. As you said, 31 years since the last time they beat Brazil. Chance for De Rossi now, 15th minute. Launching it into the corner. Giaccherini staying with them. Felipe Luis. It'll be a throw-in for Italy. Good look at the journeyman in many ways. Although starting to blossom with Marchisio sitting some games out for Juve.
Oh, good ball.
Free. Getting to his own miscue. Osvaldo not exactly sure what that was supposed to be.
Upset that he doesn't get a better ball here from Osvaldo, and you can see why. A beautiful position for the Milan man out wide. Just not getting quite that service, but good approach every which way.
Don't forget, plenty of action coming your way. World Cup qualifying, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are. In fact, chance to ask some questions heading into these vital rounds. Hashtag AskBeIn at Twitter.
A beautiful ball from Hernanes to find Oscar out here. Got a lot to do here, though.
Overlapping run, and he splits it almost brilliantly, but well played in the back by Christian Maggio.
Lovely overlap from Felipe Luis around him as well, inviting the ball on. Another great defensive play by Dani Alves. They'll be complaining about this, but the spacing from Dani Alves is top class. Comes in beautifully, didn't see anything wrong. I think the referee gets this one right as well. Been stepping in beautifully, new Blondie Bean. Nothing here, and then Montolivo's got to wrestle him down and gets clipped as well. Here we're seeing that earlier ball from Oscar. The run from Filipe Luis is wonderful. Tries to scoop it, not just over the top, but between two players, and nearly succeeds.
Buffon wanting just a bit more over Leonardo Bonucci, the 25-year-old who leads
danger on
the
its way in
defense.
a big way. Pick your poison here. It looks an impossible distance, but remember, it's Brazil.
Hulk leaning with that left, but instead he'll let it go. Driven just wide of the net.
Incredible technique
Not bad
here
from the kid.
Fabulous step through from Fernando. The Gremio man comes through. This is astounding technique to keep the ball down over this amount of distance, Phil. It's always, you can't say curling away, but striking away from the uprights. But a wonderful technique from the defender.
Another chance played back by De Rossi.
How much does that say about Brazil when you have those types of players stepping up ahead of the artisan midfielders and incredibly gifted forwards to take that type of free kick? Amazing.
Maggio hurt. He'll play on though. Balotelli on the near side.
Floating about beautifully.
Almost drops it in, and Dante almost knocks it into his own net.
There's no almost drops it in about it. He drops it into a thimble again. Look at this pass from Balotelli. It's right on the money. And you see the kick up high from Dante, just doing enough perhaps to put the attacker out. Osvaldo really appreciating it. It's a beautiful ball from Mario.
Dani Alves knocks down on the ensuing play. Of course, Italy using this match as preparation for their next World Cup qualifier against Malta. That coming up on Tuesday. No such problem for Brazil. Their problem is trying to get ready for a World Cup they're hosting that many think that they're destined to win without going through a qualification.
Long way to go, Phil, before that, and they need these types of games to really test themselves in the acid bath. This has been not such a good time of late for Brazil. They've never been as far down in the FIFA rankings for all those ridiculous equations that sometimes throws up, but seeing Brazil in 18th place is certainly going to throw the planets out of alignment. Something's wrong with that. Now, they've really got to up the ante now and polish their diamond ahead of their World Cup.
Well, Ray, think about it. Luis Felipe Scolari's not backing down. They go to Wembley to play England. Here they're playing Italy. They play Russia at Stamford Bridge on Monday. They play Bolivia, but you think, oh, it's Bolivia. It's in La Paz at altitude. Then Chile, England, and France again before the Confederations Cup. It is going to be trial by fire.
Well, it's got to be, because they're not in any meaningful competition up until the World Cup, other than the Confederations, as you say. The host automatically qualify, of course, and losing out on that battle-hardened rehearsal sequence is going to really be a big test for Brazil. Coming into their big dance, not sharp. So that's why Big Phil is really looking at these games. That's a great tackle.
Montolivo.
Beautiful. Giving Dani Alves a little bit of his own medicine there, reaching around and pickpocketing him beautifully.
Montolivo, one of the focal points here today. On the other side, young Fernando. No Ramirez. You wonder whether he would have been there if healthy, but maybe we'll find out against Russia on Monday. But well, Fernando just 21. He's been part of the Brazilian national team pickup since 07.
Very, very close, tight confines, finding each other. This man pulling the string. Beautiful.
Drops it in. Maggio tries to go around Julio Cesar, and Dante takes it out of the frying pan.
What a ball! What a ball from Pirlo. Again, the distance means nothing to Andrea. Maggio dictates the pass with a beautiful run. The pass is even better, but Maggio misses the connection completely. He's got Cesar at his mercy, driving in damning death heaven with his bootless cries here again. Cannot believe he missed that one. Beautiful invention again from the Azzurri. Top quality, high-octane passing from Andrea Pirlo, and unlucky from Cristian Maggio, the Napoli man, just missing his connection.
Saw the turf give up a little bit. Winter just winding down. Bit rough in spots, but both teams playing absolutely perfect. And it's only stellar defense that shut down the imperious offense. A little bump from behind sends Hernanes down. Lazio playmaker Giaccherini nipping at his heels. Nearing the midway point of this opening half. Back to Dante, just his second cap, a late bloomer. As I mentioned, Fernando's been around the Brazilian scene since '07 when he was on the under-15 national team, and that's an influential position because with Alves and Felipe Luis pushing forward, in many ways is that defensive midfielder that ties the entire defense together, and Scolari said he has no problem giving those reins to the 21-year-old. Alves.
Now this formation of Brazil, 4-3-3 by the looks of it, so mobile. Look at this again, wonderful options for the yellow shirts.
Neymar
nicely covered by the Blues.
Fred in the middle, but Hulk can't find him. Maggio all the way back on defense.
Tremendous, typical Italian defending from the man that was just inside the 6-yard box. Maggio comes back and covers all the bases on the inside of him. He's beautifully protected by Barzagli and Bonucci inside. Samba girls, Samba boys going disco, and they haven't even scored.
Oscar towards the spot. Montolivo again. Balotelli, nice touch for De Cilio. All of a sudden, Brazil starting to control the regulator on this engine. Giaccherini pressuring.
It's a fabulous ball from the back. Wonderful play from Fernando.
Hulk from the left, skips it around Bonucci. Alves. Another steal by De Cilio.
Magic. Aye.
Balotelli chopped down by one of his former EPL rivals.
Yeah. Good eyebrows from the referee, giving the warnings to Luis. Don't come through the back like that. That is arguably our first yellow card. It's not given.
A little takedown for Giaccherini. Started brilliantly with a shot that required a stellar stop from Julio Cesar, but now looking a bit outmatched. Here's Hernanes. Montolivo hustles over.
Oh, clever. Trying to make himself a yard, and Montolivo wasn't buying any of it.
Hernanes from deep. De Cilio in the air. However, only as far as Fernando, flipped in by Fred. Neymar sliding to that center channel. Supposed to be Neymar versus Balotelli. Hasn't quite turned out that way, at least not yet.
It's a wonderful connection there between Fred and Neymar. The give and go on the first time in the air as well. Beautiful, brave football. We would not expect anything else from Brazil in attack. Just getting cut off by the Azzurri's defenders, and a little help from their midfield. So sharp with their passing, Brazil.
David Luiz back in the good graces under Benitez. Although a question whether either will be there next year. Felipe Luis back to Dante. '20th cap for David Luiz, and a little too optimistic on that one. No problem for Buffon.
Some big guns missing in action for the yellow shirts as well. Lucas Moura, of course, PSG man, not able to take part in this. Paulinho, and as you said earlier, Phil Ramirez, all out injured. Kaká is fit, but on the bench, and I'm sure we'll see Ricky before the games put to bed.
Balotelli wide. Disguises it
that's
well. Pirlo.
Beautiful play by Andrea Pirlo, just shimmying over the top and still got the legs to get it at the other side of the two Brazilian defenders closing in on him. A wonderful first-time pass.
Bonucci off Neymar. Down goes Fred as he clatters into De Rossi. Plays with a smile, but he also has some sharp boots. Neymar loses balance or looking for something there.
Well, referee finally bringing out the yellow card against Fred. Maybe a little harsh. I thought the one earlier from David Luiz through Mario Balotelli deserved the card, but not too sure about that one. A hard man, but a wonderful, inventive footballer is Daniel De Rossi, having a fine season again for Roma now that he's re-established himself with the new coach. Lovely knifing ball again.
Montolivo from long range.
Approach play is perfect. The finishing nowhere near. Players to the left and right of him had taken up positions that he couldn't find. Giaccherini and Balotelli peeling off away from him on either side, giving him the option to find them. But he goes for goal. Ricardo nowhere near. So much to enjoy in this game, Phil. We haven't saw the goals. I don't give a damn. There's been beautiful football from both midfields and some great defending at either end as well. Good skill on the ball to get out of that position as well. Giaccherini's playing well. The kid, 27-year-old, looks like a youngster.
Last time these two teams played in 09 in the Confederations Cup, an 8-minute stretch. Brazil with a 3-0 victory over Italy. Luis Fabiano scored twice, and Docena with an own goal.
We've seen some real good opportunities, haven't we? Too many to count. We'll see them again at half-time, but the one that shocked me was the Mario Balotelli. The man's been in such scintillating form for AC Milan, but you let a big fish off the hook in the early going. That's good defending again. Wonderful step in from the back from Barzagli.
Barzagli and Bonucci, just like they do with the old lady here with the Azzurri.
A big component, Phil. Two central defenders, absolutely on the same wavelength in every way, shape and form. Great communication, very comfortable with each other. Haven't let the guard down yet.
Good read by Luis.
Yep.
Balotelli was ready to spin away. Neymar. Alves. He's stolen.
Hard ball being played into Oscar, that from Dani Alves.
Like you say, test your teammates. That time, Oscar unable to control it. Italy gets it back. Desilio.
20-year-old Milan man having a tremendous game in this left-back position.
Right, 30 minutes in, still another hour to go. Brazil's already passed more than 150 times, Italy more than 100.
Yep, a beautiful game of football we're watching.
Bonucci. Balotelli.
Oh, what a run, what a ball.
Maggio, not going to get
out.
it. Chance for Hulk, marauding down that left wing.
What a ball again on the run.
Fred with Neymar, goes wide for Alves. Driving on Desilio, soft touch. Squared by Oscar, but no one inside the 6.
Fabulous play by Dani Alves and Oscar. What a combination.
Poked away. Hernandez recovers.
The ball from Oscar was absolutely heavenly, beautifully inviting and teasing, waiting for the arrival of Fred or Hulk.
Another chance for Alves, stepping up Bonucci and Pirlo. to take it off the fire.
Beautiful intervention by Bonucci. Every time we give a compliment for the wonderful attacking prowess, you got to give one to the defenders.
Looking for a gap.
Great ball, well controlled.
Osvaldo off his chest.
Needs help.
Tries to get around Dante, but can't.
Had Balotelli as well, couldn't find a magic.
Oh. Osvaldo sprinted up quickly. Pirlo almost found him. Well,
Got to play the ball when the wind is open there. But then, just a little bit too al dente for him to come back onto. Osvaldo just not able to rein it in.
Hulk on the far side. 6 goals in his 18 prior matches. And check out the schedule, so many games. CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, and again on Monday, Brazil against Russia. Any of your questions welcomed. Hashtag AskBN via Twitter.
Ball. Beautiful little pass from Oscar.
Neymar bends it around
What
Pirlo.
a ball!
Hulk to the middle, but defended well by Maggio. Luis Felipe. Deflected back post and buried by Fred. A simple name, but a difficult goal. It's 1-0 Brazil.
Magnificent go-ahead goal this. The finish is clinical and sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. But the genesis of the goal comes way back to that wonderful flighted-in ball from Neymar. It's a magical pass that sets all the yellow dominoes falling. Felipe Luis sends it in. The Azzurri cannot clear it enough. It's just popped up in the air by Barzagli, I believe. Little touch, Bonucci. And it falls heavenly to Fred. And look at this for a pinpoint finish in between the upright and Buffon for typical Brazilian magic. Again, a little unfortunate for Italy. Bonucci just not able to get enough distance with his header. And it falls invitingly for Fred. Tremendous finish though, on the volley, Phil, side foot, with one of the greatest goalkeepers to ever play the game and still one of the world's greats. Gigi Buffon could do nothing because the placement was perfection.
How does Italy respond? This is one of the reasons Prandelli wanted a difficult showdown before Malta. They lead their qualifying group, but there's still a lot to play. Felipe Luis with the sweep back. Now with the lead, Brazil can start to reach into that magic hat.
They've been reaching into the hat of magic all game long, and so has Italy. This scoreline could quite fairly and squarely be the other way around, but it's Big Phil's men that capitalise. And we look at it again at half-time. You people with your fancy schmancy machines been replaying it a dozen times by now. What a ball from the midfield of Brazil to find that left side. That's where it all started. But typical of Brazil, a half a chance like that, and most people in the world, most players, most forwards, would probably have taken an extra touch to control it, but not Fred. One touch, one goal, 1-0.
Bonucci to Montolivo, to De Silio. Balotelli against Alves was pulled back.
Again, good hold-up play from the Milan man. Prandelli likes what he sees, and he should. Here again, Hulk sees his target. It gets cut out. Felipe gets it again. Here's the lad, bad little pop. There's not much more he could have done. He's stretching to get any sort of touch away, but it falls just on a big welcome mat for Fred, and he wipes his feet on it and steps right in.
9th goal in just 21 games. Federico Chavez, many ways an afterthought, although a favorite of Scolari.
We've looked at that replay 4 times, and we still haven't seen the pass that I've been on about to open up those opportunities. I'm sure it was Neymar that started it. They're in again.
Rattled through, but not quite enough. Neymar didn't have the angle. And Hulk all over that front line. Desilio poked free. Oscar playing some defense. First half, 37th minute. These two teams will meet up again, and it will count in the Confederations Cup, June 22nd, after each squares off against Japan and Mexico first. Bonucci taken down by Hernanes. Apologies. Balotelli hurrying to get back. His feet went out from under him.
Well played.
Walking a bit gingerly as Brazil starts tying the passes together.
Beautiful dexterity there by Hulk. Wonderful feet. Aye.
Stolen away. It's Giaccherini.
Good interception.
Has Balotelli. He has De Rossi.
Oh,
But he had his sights set on goal.
fabulous strike by Balotelli. Cesar deals with it, but you're right, Phil. Invitingly, Daniel De Rossi shows up like a ghost out of the fog. And Balotelli says, I see you, pal, I don't think I need you. He flamethrowers this one towards Julio Cesar and just misses a target. The great ball.
Headed back by Maggio, in for Balotelli, harassed by Hernanes. Good steal by Felipe Luis.
Great tracking back again there by Christian Maggio. Well, Balotelli really having a fine game. Other than that one time that he missed that tremendous opportunity, he's been wonderful. His hold-up play, the ball sticking to Super Mario. He's bringing the rest of the Azzurri into the play. This man in particular, always arriving on that right side. Desilio is the one that's the stay-at-home defender, along with Bonucci and Barzagli. But the Blues are finding themselves with a beautiful rhythm here.
Scarlatti looking for his first win in his second
good ball
stint.
Again.
Pops up to Oscar.
Daniel De Rossi again probing with such wonderful accuracy, questioning, and that one just squirting away from Emmanuel Giaccherini.
Lifted by Montolivo. Balotelli trying to turn. Slots it. It's Montolivo again. Drags it over. Osvaldo to Giaccherini. Now it's Pirlo. Oh my!
Fabulous play. Again, it starts from Balotelli, who's floating like a butterfly all around that front line. Goes in towards the end, towards Pirlo, who tests himself with his usual textbook curler. But Cesar sees that one, always moving away from his upright. A tremendous football again, all over the park from the blue shirts.
40 minutes
This isn't false
in the book.
praise for either team, Phil. There's been spectacular build-up, and this crowd has just not stopped vibrating watching this wonderful spectacle of all-out attacking football from both colours.
Nice. And it's Neymar.
Nicely.
To Hernanes, who just has to stretch. A bump from the side. The referee saw it and says nothing.
Hernanes into the box. Neymar's brilliant squirrel on a telephone wire run opens him up. Felipe is out of his seat wanting the penalty. We haven't seen it ourselves in replay. There was contact inside the box. Referee saying it wasn't enough.
Maybe just on that right angle, but close and risky. Giaccherini back for De Rossi. De Rossi. David Luiz keeps him on side, but Osvaldo so worried about Dante, he didn't see the run from David Luiz. And they get an equalizer before the break. De Rossi spots the near side run to Cilio. Waited a bit too long, and Hernanes off to the races. Neymar,
pace.
Oscar make that.
Brilliant control.
Neymar again. Slots it to Oscar, and an easy tap-in past Buffon. The kids are all right.
Unbelievably brilliant run by Neymar. And this is why he is the new phenomenon of world football. Brazil know they've got a Koh-i-Noor diamond in him. And Santos has got an Aladdin's cave to call on for the rest of the world. Oscar makes a beautiful finish of it, but it's Neymar's brilliance and magisterial prowess. Oscar is cool as a seed in a cucumber with his finish. That is world-class finishing. But Neymar finds him imperiously, and look at the coolness of Oscar. The 21-year-old man from Sao Paulo, an international, plays his football in Chelsea now. And that wasn't a 4, Philippe. It was a 10. In every way, pure 10 class. And the Samba ladies go absolutely disco, as well they should. There's no defending that run by Neymar. Azzurri couldn't hold on to him, couldn't keep pace with him. But the opportunities, Phil, that opened up for him, he picked the right one out. A special footballer, Neymar.
Oscar was the one who started the run, but then had the presence to find it to the magic man. Neymar made it look easy. It wasn't.
The final pass, the dagger ball, of course, is what we'll see. What we won't see is the genesis of that run there, which opened and stretched out the Azzurri and allowed Oscar to make his run. And we'll hit the discos after this, baby, is what Neymar says to Oscar.
21
what a
years.
combination. Amazing. And the wealth of talent around them, too. Well, they're going back to Rio for their World Cup, and they will light it up.
Nice chance on the overlap. Maggio, Osvaldo got it, but didn't get enough of it.
So unlucky. Italy in this game, so very cruelly unlucky. Osvaldo has been the recipient of this type of service a few times. He's unlucky not to make a cleaner connection, but credit David Luiz for shepherding him and putting a very short leash on him. It finish had to be exquisite, but the build-up for Italy's got to be thunderously applauded yet again. Nothing to show for it.
Prandelli.
It's a very misleading scoreline, this, but it's killer finishing from the boys from Brazil.
Prandelli says it takes courage to play Brazil. Italy has been outstanding in this match, and they still find themselves trailing by 2. And what more can they do to get back in it?
It's truly typical textbook DNA Brazilian football, Phil. They knife through you with sadistic pleasure and brilliant artistic approach. They just do. Generation after generation, they come out, keep on producing these spellbinding players. And as you say, Phil, I don't know the last time I ever saw Italy play so well. Italy has been absolutely superb, and then Brazil have trumped it. No chance for Gigi Buffon on either goal. Magnificent football being served up in Geneva. Celebration of everything that's good about our beautiful game.
Scolare's masterpiece is only half done. Another 45 minutes to go. Can Balotelli and company right the ship?
Make you feel like half the man you used to be? You feel more tired, out of shape, not in the mood like you used to be? You may have reduced testosterone, Starting in your early 30s, a man's testosterone declines 1 to 3% every year. By age 50, you may have already lost half of your testosterone. Introducing Ageless Male, a life-changing supplement for men, clinically shown to help increase testosterone levels. And today, we're giving you the opportunity to try it risk-free.
What I love about Ageless Male is that, first of all, it's natural. Ageless Male will help you increase muscle mass with strength training.